I personally was fascinated by the research out of Harvard that talks about both the toxic stress levels, I think mainly because you don't think about infants having any sort of stress at all, let alone stress that would be at a toxic level. Do you see a lot of that in the work that you do?
Well, I think that I can give you an example of where you might see it. A home where there's domestic violence,
Mm.
where mom and dad scream at each
Mm.
other every night. There might not be physical violence, but that baby's hearing it. And that baby's needs aren't being met because they're at each other. And that can raise stress levels in infants very, very quickly.
I've always heard people say, oh, babies know, they can tell, or toddlers especially know when mom and dad are fighting and you can see that they get upset. Is that what we're talking about here? Their response to that sort of environment?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're definitely seeing that the longer it lasts and the more aggressive it becomes. I mean, if there becomes hitting and mom's getting upset and crying and dad screaming or whatever the situation is, the dog's barking, you know, you have all this going on, then the baby can't calm.
So definitely any sort of abuse or neglect would fall into that category of toxic stress on the baby, where the baby's needs are just not being met, but also when they pick up on the stress levels of the adults in their
Correct.
lives.
Well, babies are like a sponge.
Yeah.
So they, any sort of stress, and I think particularly with the economic situation that you're seeing now, there's a lot of families around the valley who are really feeling it. So there is almost a constant low-grade stress that's continually in the home.